Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Music Talks podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Rose. So if you've known me well enough by now, you would know that I am actually through and through a music therapy student. It doesn't matter my jazz side, my composition side, my performance side, everything else. My sole focus and love is purely on music therapy, honestly. Don't tell a lot of people that, but I'm pretty sure they know at this point. So there have been episodes that I've been talking to a few music therapy students such as Miss Tan Ng and Miss Jing Wen, and if you are interested you can check those out. But today I have another music therapy student, one that I'm quite jealous of because she's been in the therapy scene for quite a while since she's graduated like a few years ago, and I'm just curious to see what she's been up to. So ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kai Ming. Hey Kai Ming.
Hi Bobby. Yeah.
How are you doing? How long was it since you graduated actually? I forgot that.
I think I graduated in the year of 2018. So it's like around 2-3 years now. Yeah.
Okay. And what have you been up to? Okay, wait, before that, your dissertation, your research, can you just like give us a summary about it? Like what was it about again?
Yeah. I was doing song preference for older adults. So basically it's more like creating a song list that is suitable to use for while working with older adults, like maybe in therapy settings or just like random music activities. Yeah, so I did a song list, and then also to look at like what are the main, how do I say that, the factors that affects their song preference. Yeah.
And how is that considered like therapy? Because like some people will ask that, isn't therapy like something that we go and meet people, or do you even consider that therapy? Or
sorry, do you mean like consider the thing that I did as a therapy?
Yeah, I mean your field of study, rather your for dissertation.
Not fully the therapy side, I would say. Maybe it's just like just a research thing. Yeah. The one that I conduct was not a therapy, but then I go collect data that might help for the therapy session in the future, like maybe those professions that they would like to work with older adults, or then they might have a better like a reference or guideline on like what's their preference. And surprisingly, like the result that I got, because the population that I get is have quite different races. I mean, I have Indian, I have Chinese, I have Malay, but the top preference of them is quite similar though.
Yeah. I guess at the heart of it, it's like everybody's Malaysian. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
So
and also, you bring that up because you say this is in Malaysia. That's also one of the reasons that I would like to do the research, because we do have the song list, but most of them were like based on American base. So like the songs might not be so suitable for those population in Malaysia. Yeah, because of the cultural difference.
Yeah, and it's awesome. The reason I wanted to bring this up actually was just an Easter egg for the listeners, that if for whatever reason you decide to look into my research, my dissertation, you look all the way in the list of references, right down there, Lee, 2018. That belongs to her. That's literally that was like one of the most awkward conversations. Like, I need your help with my research. Like, and then she just said like, nah, have mine, have my results, and I was like, oh, okay.
But it's good to know that it's useful to you.
It really was. Yeah. I skipped like a few months of planning, just like utilizing your data, and I was like so thankful for it. So that was like 3 years ago, and what have you been up to since then?
Since I graduated, then I actually stepped into like my current job, which is a therapist in an autism center. So what I did was like it's more towards like behavioral therapy. And I was trained under my supervisor. So we work with children with special needs, but mainly children with autism. We do have some other like special need ADHD or some other syndromes, but then mostly were autism kids. Yeah. So since then, I've been in this center since I graduated, and then last year I took up my master in counseling. Yeah, so that's my current direction now.
Oh, I didn't know this. Okay, this is a bonus that I had no idea. But CBT, so you conduct like a few CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy for the children, or it's not
Yeah,
an exclusive thing. It's just like
yeah, it's not CBT. The approach we used was more integrated behavioral therapy. Yeah, CBT was another approach. Yeah, but then the one that we used was more integrated. It's a bit similar to like I don't know if you have heard before the ABA therapy, applied behavioral therapy, but then we use some of the approach in ABA, but also integrated some other techniques here, like because we tend to focus more on the social communication side, so it seems to it's more integrated, I would say.
And how does this all apply with your, like, what you've been learning in UPM, all the skills that you've been picking up in the music therapy side? I mean, like, I do remember that you work with the team. That's literally, ladies and gentlemen. So there is a music therapy team, I guess. I mean, it keeps changing because the generations, the students come and go. But it's all spearheaded by our supervisor, Dr. Indra Selvaraja. You can check her out. You literally just search UPM Indra on Google. Boop. She's literally the first name and the only name, I think, in the whole of Malaysia that does music therapy, like on a professional, like doctorate level. But yeah, how did you like sort of incorporate your music therapy skills into a non-music therapy setting?
I was really glad that I have the experience when I was in uni, because I think that's really helped me a lot in my working. Like the experience that I have helped me to better in like maybe like planning or like some activities that I do with my clients in at my workplace. So I mean I because of the experience that I had, so it how do I say that? It helped me to have more varieties of plans, like like because like for behavioral therapy, it's literally like we are trying to shape like the behavior or like teach them certain behavior, but then of course we also touch like the social communication skill, motor skills, everything, but then like we have to come up with activities to help them with this. So because of the experience that I had previously and also some music skills that I have, so I can use what I have to put it in the settings. So do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, but it's very interesting because you did say based on your experience in university, and then we have been working with Cheras Rehab Hospital, for example, and you did do your dissertation with older people, and then suddenly you had a shift working with autistic children. So I'm worried, like, does those social, emotional, spiritual, all those cultural and motor skills, is it similar? I mean, wouldn't it be very different? Like you have to like swing your head the other side to adapt to the situation?
I think that's a good question, but to me, I feel that it's actually similar. It's just maybe like I said just now, like the song preference, everything. Like previously, when we work with older adults, we will use the song that they might like. And then like when working with children, of course, we use like those nursery rhymes, everything. But then the goals, the method we use is actually like the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the end result where you're going,
Mm.
it's always the same. Like the journey, I would say, like the different
Yeah,
kind of music.
I'll say the most important thing is to know the goals, like why am I doing this, like why am I using this activity for these children, or why am I trying to use this like try this out with him. It's basically the goal that we need to I need to justify my activities with my goals.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, in maybe to because his program is more towards like social interaction, because as we know, like it's quite important for autistic children to learn the social interaction. So I think music is one of the quite very good activity to engage with the children, because most of the children they like music, and then sometimes it's difficult for them to like interact with us, because they it's not that they don't want, but then they don't know how. But then using music, it's I would say easier to let them engage with us. Like I can have this interaction thing with them. Like when I sing, they will look at me. When I sing, sometimes because I want to encourage the interaction thing, then I might leave a few words for them, and then they will actually respond to us. It's like the reciprocal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really.
Fill in the
I
blanks.
enjoy doing this. Yeah. But but there are also some special case which the children don't like music at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met some children that really don't like music.
Yeah. I would think that there is no like particular point like on this side of the ASD compared to this side of the ASD, this one doesn't like music. There is no perfect solution, right? Okay, this one you have to do this way, this one have to do this way. It's just that there are these outliers, like you said, these special cases that they just don't
Yes.
respond to music, I would say. Yeah. So in that sense, the fundamental basis of all of it, it's still quite similar, as you kept saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you said, like because ASD is a spectrum, so like every kid actually they are different. Like maybe you will have 10 kids with autism, there are 10 individuals. It's not like what we have understand. Oh, autistic children like tend to not speak, they tend to not look at you. Yeah, it is their signs, their symptom, but then I would say like every kid is really different. Yeah, and then the way you work with them or the way you interact, the way he responds is like totally different.
Okay, that's awesome. And you've been doing this, like, did you start off as a assistant therapist, or did you just like signed up like straight, like when you just
Yeah,
like graduate?
I joined in straight as a therapist, which I get training before I really take cases. So I was glad that like I entered this company which they provide training to us, and before like really proceed to the real settings. Yeah, so and also yeah, I started off with assisting my supervisor, and then later on, yeah, when I was ready, then I'll take my personal case. So for now, I'm actually working. I do take cases, and then sometimes we do have like 2 therapists or 3 therapists for a case that we will work together very closely. I think this is also one of the very good way, because like we get to know we have more different perception, or like we can share, oh, what do we think about this case, what can we do. Yeah, there's more like team, I would say.
Specialty, like you are
Yeah, specialty.
multidisciplinary.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
and it's also good for the children, where they can learn to generalize it, because sometimes it's you work well with him, and then he can do whatever you want in your class in with you, but then because they also need to learn like to generalize it to other settings. Like sometimes we heard, yeah, these children can do this in class, but then when they go back home, they don't know how to use it. So it's more like the generalizing skills. So I think it's great that they get to work with different therapists in our center, and then also to encourage the generalizing skills. Yeah.
Right. And before I ask the next question, like I just want to know right now. So just to let you guys know, ladies and gentlemen, we are recording this in the midst of EMCO, MCO. I've honestly lost track. Some kind of lockdown. So, is your service like what you do? Is it considered essential? Because I feel like you still do, right? Even this past month
Yeah.
that I've been seeing your.
It's like the whole year of MCO we are still working because we will consider as we are under healthcare. I mean the KKM. So we are considered as essential. Yeah, so the MITI letter or whatever letter that we got was under the KKM. So we are actually allowed to operate as usual. And also, it's actually, I feel that it's really essential because like we see previously, like last year, that we actually stopped for a few months. Like after the children come back, right, we actually can see some like regress,
exactly.
Yeah, so I think it's really essential.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
though it's like sometimes it's still, we would say, risky or like for the children to come out or what. But then when we realize that like the children like staying at home for quite a long time, it's really not good for them because like children at this age, they need exposure, I would say.
Yeah.
Instead of like staying at home. Or what is worse was like sometimes the parents have to work as well, and then like no one really have time to take care of them, and then they just throw them iPads or whatever. Yeah,
just like sit in the corner and then do whatever you.
Like,
and it's even worse with. I mean, it's not worse. As in, like it's even more difficult with these neurodiverse children. I would think so, right? Yeah, and I'm so glad to see that it's actually acknowledged as an essential service, because some people might think that, oh, you can just do therapy with them online, or they can just talk to their parents. What's so hard about? So I guess I'm very thankful that we are at least in this situation where the therapy side,
yes, like what you said, online therapy. To me, it's already like for our like how was it, neurotypical children, it's already like a bit tough for them like to sit in front of the laptop to have their online classes, and what not to say like this non-neurotypical student. And then when we were in class like physically, because we are all one-to-one session, we sometimes will need to like physically prompt them to let them know like what, or like, okay, what we're gonna do now, what you need to do now. And then like if go through online is like super hard, and then we might need parents to be there as well. And so for online, it will definitely we need parents' help. And then it's not that the parents like don't want, but then sometimes the parent really can't have the time to really sit with the children and then like sit there for like 1.5 hours to do all the therapy things.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So let's go back to that what you mentioned about your master study. Very interesting. You mentioned counseling, not necessarily a therapy. So did you decide that, or was that decided upon you? I mean, it's postgraduate studies, so nobody can really make you. This isn't like school. But like, did you decide to do counseling, masters in counseling, because of the lack of access for not only music therapy, I mean like even therapy settings, right? Or did you initially want to do this since your, I don't know, high school or whatever you started?
No, this was never my choice, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because okay, initially, I mean, my dream of my goal was to take master in music therapy, which I tried to apply and I got it, but then ended up I didn't go. I mean, ended up I didn't get to continue in master in music therapy. So and then later I just like that time I was just like, okay, now it's okay, then I'll just focus on my work, and then maybe if there is like a few years time, maybe I will get to like go again to the music therapy side. But then like as I was working, I feel that there's still like a lack of some, I would say, like psychological knowledge or a lack of some more deeper knowledge. Yeah, because like my degree was all in music, I don't really touch on those psychological sides, theories, thing, everything. Yeah, that's why I have experience in my workplace. I do get training, or I do get in touch with all this, some of the theories or approach or techniques. But I still think that that's not really enough. So at last, I decided to take counseling. Uh, First, of course, I consider counseling is because like it's not restricted to only psychological students. It's like everyone, as long as you want to take, you pass the interview, then you can go in for a counseling site. So it's like my classmates, we are like from a very diverse setting. Some of them work with banks, some of them is like housewife, or some of them it's like, yeah, really different, everyone. And then the age gap is also very different. So it's like we have from 25 years old up to like 45. Like,
But
that's
isn't
really,
that because it's a postgrad study, right? I mean, you are expected to
yeah,
have a
that's
more
true.
diverse, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so yeah, that's the reason I take counseling. That I wanted to the main reason, I think I need more knowledge in this, and then to learn. And also after I step into the counseling, I realized that um this is not like really to, I mean, the whole course thing is not only helping me to gain more knowledge or like to understand more about the psychological theories, but then it actually helped me personally, help myself grow a lot more. Yeah. And I think this is the greatest part of counseling.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've heard it more than, I don't know, 5 people that actually said it. Like, at the end of the day, the best thing about therapy, counseling, psychology, and all is that we can apply it to ourselves without.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you whatever other thing in music, like whatever you study, it's all about like playing and performing and recording, and then you just sit in the room and then you can't really do much. So you're just like keeping it there. Yeah. But it's really interesting when you mentioned that, because at the top of my head, I can think of, if I'm not mistaken, Professor Katrina McFerrin from University of Melbourne.
Yes.
Yeah, she does music therapy. I mean, like hip hop music therapy, but how she does it is in a creative arts counseling method, whereby you would talk about it and then you write your lyrics and make songs out of it. But it's not the conventional way of how you and I did it. Like, okay, everybody get an instrument, we all talk about it. The usual method of music therapy, ladies and gentlemen, is actually like, it's not. People always think that music therapy is just get together, play some music, have fun, that's it. But actually, it's more than that. It's more in depth. We do tap into the, like I said, the spiritual side, emotional side, the sociological side. But what she does, this creative arts counseling, is that she gets you to, she counsels you, but in a musical way. So I'm wondering, like, is this what you're going to, like the other non-playing side of music therapy?
Yeah, like going back to that one that you mentioned, the creative arts counseling. Like after I stepped into this field, right, it's actually, I mean, the goal was actually the same. It's just a matter of the approach. Like you said, like she uses the creative music as her approach. But then, I mean, up to the end, no matter like the conventional therapy or the creative therapy, to their goals, they are heading towards the same goal. So it's just a matter of the approach.
Yeah.
So this is also what I learned from my working experience. That is up to the therapist that how you use your approach to help with the children. Yeah. And then when you ask me if that was where am I heading to, to be honest, I don't have a clear direction that okay, I must do this now, or when I graduate, I have to be a counselor. Or to me, I'll still say it's more on. I mean, what am I doing all this now? Is more towards like to help myself, like to gain more experience, to gain more knowledge. And then of course my goal was to I want to be in the helping profession, but in which method or in which position. I'm still I don't have a like, oh, I have a fixed
Like
goal yet, I would say.
Yeah, a 10-year plan.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I do have planned earlier, like before I take my degree. I do have plans like, oh, I imagine, okay, I take foundation in music, then I take up bachelor in music, and then I'm heading to master in music therapy so that I can be a music therapist in like few years time. That was my initial plan. But then when I think it's like a few years back, I realized that the plans won't always go as what we plan. I mean, things change.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just need to go with the flow and do whatever you want.
And that's why I wanted to say, like, technically, more often than not, a lot of us actually had a plan, but then 2020 just came by. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you had a plan and it changed. It doesn't matter if you don't have a plan, because you know, we're all like trying to wade through the same kind of waters, you know. So
yeah. As long as I mean, I'm glad that I'm doing what I like. So that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and it's encouraging to hear you say it that way, because not a lot of people can say the same thing, especially in this climate. I'm not even talking about the economy. I mean, yes, the economic crisis of the world and so on, but it's also the internal struggles that we're going through, you know. So if we can get like the two of us together with a third person, a third music student right next to us, and you know, tell them like, oh, you know, you should follow Kai Ming's path, or do you think it's a good idea, or do you think it's a very personal thing, even if they are like a hardcore, a diehard, like everything I do has to be music therapy? Do you think it's a good idea to suggest to them, or to like refer them to your path or something?
To me, I think it's a personal thing. But then if he or she really like this field, or feel that yeah, I really want to be a music therapist, I think this is a good field though. Yeah. And then it's if like we say tomorrow, like really decides, I mean, this is a field which we really need more people, because there are more and more demand, I would say. But then the certified or like qualified student is actually very less. Like me myself was also not I'm not as a certified music therapist, I would say. I'm just a music graduate. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That working in a therapy field. So yeah, I really think this is this can be a direction for them to go to if they really like it. And then of course I can see there's more music therapists coming out, like from Australia, from Singapore, or even China. Yeah, there are lots of people taking this course. I mean, going towards this direction. I in Malaysia, I think this is quite a good field to go to. Yeah. And that's in need lah, I would say.
Yeah, but it's I don't know how you feel about it, but it kind of shakes me just a bit when you said this is a good field to go to. Yeah, it's a good field to go to if you personally love it. Like you said, like the end goal of any method is still to help people to the well-being of neurodiverse children, of special needs adults, and all. But is it a good field to go to in Malaysia? Especially
in Malaysia.
That's my question to you, because I feel like you have one of the most smoothest journey from I mean I don't know, we don't want to get into the details of it, but it seems like you have one of the most like you graduated and then you had a job and then now you're still working. No, not a lot of people can say that, especially in this field that we do. So
understand.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I would say I'll still say yes, because but what's the issue is that we can't get that. I mean, we can't get that we can't get that in Malaysia. Is that like we have to go overseas to get trained, to get everything. Yeah, that's why I know UPM is like trying to come up with this course, right? But then it still needs time. And then like for at this moment, if we wanted to like go for music therapy, everything, we will need to go overseas. So that I think that's the part where it's a bit tricky. Like we can't really get access to it in Malaysia. But then I think in the future, because this field is rising and then there's more awareness there, especially mental health awareness, I would say. Yeah. So I would still say, it is a good direction in Malaysia, I mean in the future.
Okay, yeah. But
the demand is rising, I would say.
Yeah. And I'm inclined to agree with you, because if we are not the people that push for it, then we'll always be waiting for that day that somebody says that, oh, now we need music therapists. But until that happens, we are the ones that are encouraged to like start, get the ball rolling.
Yes.
So ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we'll end our talk here. It's quite a short talk, but it's quite an interesting one. If you are interested in the field of music therapy, because again, reiterating what Kai Ming said, like, the end goal is still the well-being of all those that we work with. So in any of the fields, like therapy, counseling, in psychology, and even research, if you are interested, you can send us an email. We'll answer any questions that you do have, or we can talk about it in a future episode. If you're up to that, would you be interested?
Sure. Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We hope you have a great week ahead of you, and let us know if there's anything that you want us to talk about. And until then, I'm your host, Bobby Rose. Thank you so much.